We're going over 3 sauce techniques that I learned working at Michelin-star restaurants so that you can make butter-based, split, and pan sauces at home. Links for the recipes and tools I used are in the description. So to cut the peppers, I like to first cut off the top, bottom, and just go around the sides. Get as much of the pepper flesh, but without the membrane as possible. And for the top, just pull out the stem. So we're gonna take the bell peppers, place them into the blender, add a splash of water. This will make the blending process a little bit easier. Once everything is nice and blended up, we're just trying to make sure that there's no chunks of bell pepper in here. Then we'll just strain this through. If you tap it, it helps pass the liquid faster. Once you've gotten most of the liquid through, we want to take the solids and we want to press them. This is going to help us get out as much flavor out of the peppers as possible. By the time you're done pressing, the solids should look very dry. You can save this if you want, but it's about 95% peels now. So it doesn't have a great texture and all the flavor's gone. So I'll just compost this. And then on top, we have, as you can see, a foam. I like to just scoop that off. That way we just have some nice pepper juice. So we're gonna add a little bit of neutral flavored oil to the bottom of the pan. I'm using avocado. Turn this on low heat, 25 grams of thinly sliced shallots, along with 10 grams of thinly sliced garlic. I always like to add a pinch of salt. This is gonna allow the shallots and garlic to bring out and contribute more flavor to the sauce. I like to season everything a little bit as I go. So one thing I forgot to mention, when you're sweating, it always helps to have some kind of lid on top, help keep in some of that steam and really cook down the alliums. We're looking for them to be completely cooked down, but without any color. And then right here, we have some smoked paprika or pimenton, 2 grams. We're just gonna add this in and cook it for about 60 seconds and really toast the spice and waken it up. Once it becomes nice and fragrant, we're gonna add in our 350 grams of red pepper juice. Add a pinch of salt. I forgot to add in a little bit for the pimenton, so that's kind of for both those. Don't go crazy with the salt because we're about to reduce this though. So we're gonna bring this up to a simmer and just lower it, let it go nice and slow. We're gonna reduce this out till almost all sec, which means almost dry. We want about 10% left of the pepper juice. By the time it's fully reduced down, you're gonna see the shallots and the garlic pieces down at the bottom again. I have the red pepper reduced down 90%. You can start to see the garlic and the shallots. We're gonna add a splash of cream. This is gonna help emulsify the butter in easier. What we're taking is water and fat and making an emulsion. But from right here, we don't have anything to help make this stable because we're going straight into a water or a liquid. So by adding a fat like cream, it's gonna help make the environment what the butter wants. Butter's already a perfect emulsion. We're just trying to keep that sauce right where it is. You can make it without cream. It is very difficult. Not too much. Now we just want to reduce this slightly, cook out some of that extra water so that we get closer back to that color that we had. We have cold cubed butter. We're gonna add this in a little bit at a time. This is gonna help us balance the temperature of the sauce. If the sauce gets too hot, it'll break. If it gets too cold, it'll break. So we want a nice, light, gentle simmer, just like a couple bubbles every second. Add in the cold butter and we're going to whisk this until it's fully melted. That way we can ensure that the sauce is balancing at the right temp. If we had too much butter at one time, we'll make the sauce too cold. And one thing I really like is this sauce whisk. It helps get down to the bottom of the pan. It just makes sauce make it a lot easier. Find that balloon whisk. There's only a small part of the whisk that actually touches the pan while you're stirring. This is in full contact. I'll have a link for this down in the description. So I feel like that's good on the butter. When I used to make this at Addison, this was completely by sight. That was around a stick of butter, so about 113 grams of butter, unsalted. Now to flavor this, we have a little bit of sherry vinegar. I like to go into the cap. That way I can control it. We only need a couple drops, then just a little bit of salt. And then once this is all finished, we're just gonna strain this. This sauce I like to push on all of the shallots and garlic. They're gonna hold on to a lot of the strong flavors. And a little trick, whenever you are making a sauce that is either a butter sauce like this, use an emulsion blender or stick blender, and it's gonna give it a really nice body. And it's also gonna like kind of aerate it, and it's gonna improve the flavor of the sauce. I don't exactly know the voodoo magic behind it, but I think it has to do with air incorporating, giving it a better body. Also improves the flavor. One of my favorite sauces. This sauce can go well with some fish that have some flavor, salmon, even like a sea bass. I think this sauce can also go with like prawns, or even carry something like a little bit heavier like chicken would go great with this. Maybe even like a pork chop. This sauce is very versatile, has an amazing flavor. So for the fennel, cut off the tops. Just gonna pick off all the fronds. Try to make sure that you don't have any of the large branches in there. Those are gonna be really hard to blend up. We're gonna save the bulbs off to the side. I'll save these stalks in the freezer. Great for adding to stock. And then for parsley, we're gonna do a similar thing. Pick off all the leaves. All the stems I save in the freezer to make chicken stock or other different stocks, instead of always having parsley on hand. So we're gonna bring a pot of water to a boil. For every gallon of water, we wanna add 8 ounces of salt. That's equivalent to about 4 liters of water and 225 grams of salt. If it drops down because you add salt in, just put the lid on, let it come back up to a boil. And we're gonna blanch both the fennel and the parsley stems for about 10 to 15 seconds. Blanching is important because it's going to help lock in that nice color. It's also going to make it easier to blend. And we want to shock this into an ice bath right after to help lock in that nice green color. If you use like room temperature water, your herbs can start to turn brown, which will make a brown oil. These don't take very long to cool down. You can mix them around a little bit. And then after, just squeeze out all the water. So in the French Laundry cookbook, Thomas Keller recommends cutting the herb. This makes them smaller, easier to blend. It's going to take less time to blend up, leading to a brighter color oil. He recommends using scissors. He says a dull knife will bruise the herbs. If you have a sharp knife, feel free to use it. I always use scissors because I just feel like it's way easier to do. Don't have to get out a cutting board. We don't have to make this extremely small. Just a little bit smaller will help make blending easier. So where we have our herbs, 35 grams each of parsley and 35 grams of fennel. You can also just go equal parts. And then you're just gonna add enough oil so that it can blend up. You wanna use a neutral flavored oil. I'm using avocado. Anything that collects on the lid or on the side, make sure that you are scraping it all down so that we can blend it all up, break it all down, and get all that flavor out of it. We're looking to create like an emulsion so that everything is nice and smooth. So next we're just gonna take this, place it into a deli cup. Make sure you get all the puree out. Place this in a container and let this rest in the fridge. Ideally 24 hours. This is gonna give you the strongest herb flavor, but anytime sitting on the herbs extra is gonna boost the flavor. So with the fennel, we have a little bit of green part right here. I like to trim that off. Don't throw this away. Ton of flavor in here. I save all fennel stock and trim, and I can use that in fish stocks or vegetable stock. It has a lot of flavor. Using a mandolin, we're gonna slice this as thin as possible. This will allow the fennel to sweat down. We won't have to add any color to it, and it'll help us extract as much flavor as possible. Altogether, you need 100 grams of shaved fennel. So to strain the oil, I have a little strainer. I have a linen-like. This is a very fine napkin that I use to filter mostly oils, but also some sauces. I'll have a link for those down in the description. And then we have the herbs that have sat on the oil. They have gotten really green. It has taken on a really good color. Now we'll just let this sit, let all the oil drain through. We want to be careful not to squeeze this because we can actually squeeze some of the water through. Best way to do this, put this back in the fridge, let it sit for 10-15 minutes and it should be ready. So we're gonna add a little bit more avocado oil to a pan, 25 grams of thinly sliced shallot, 10 grams of thinly sliced garlic, and our 100 grams of thinly sliced fennel. We're gonna add a little bit of salt. This is gonna help fennel and the shallots contribute more flavor. This is gonna help allow everything to add flavor to the sauce. Then we're gonna turn this on low heat and sweat this down. Once the fennel and alliums are cooked down, they are very tender. We're gonna add in 240 milliliters of white wine. Once we cook the wine to a sec, which means almost dry, we're gonna add in 240 milliliters or grams of heavy cream, 240 milliliters of chicken stock, 2 sprigs of thyme, and 2 lemon peels. And then we're gonna bring this to a simmer. So I cooked this on medium heat until it reduced by half. It was between 10 and 15 minutes. We're gonna remove the 2 stems of thyme and the 2 lemon peels. The lemon, not the end of the world if you can't find both of them. They blend up pretty easily. The thyme, definitely take out. Pour this into the blender. We're gonna use the cooked fennel out in the shallot and garlic to actually thicken this, give us the body we're looking for. Okay, give this a taste. Has good flavor. I want to add a pinch of salt just to boost up the flavor a little bit. But before that, I'm going to add a little bit of lemon. It doesn't need a lot because of the lemon peel, but just to help really balance the fattiness of the cream. And whenever you're going to add acid into a sauce with salt, always add the acid first. Lemons, vinegar, not only do they provide acidity, but that also enhances the flavor. So if you go to add salt first and the salt is right where you want it, and then you add lemon or vinegar, the flavors can become too powerful. And lemons normally have seeds, so you want to strain them. This one, I just cut the end. I just want a couple drops. Salt. And then we're just gonna strain the sauce to get out any extra pieces of fennel that are in there. We don't want to push any chunks through, just tap it. And then I like to rinse out my strainer. That way you have less to try to pass. We have our herb oil from before. It's just been draining in the fridge. Obviously, we don't want to mix this up too much. We want to have little droplets throughout the sauce. And that way, when you go to pour it, it has a nice like tie-dye looking pattern to it. And when you make this sauce, you always want to add the oil right before serving. If you're doing this for a restaurant, you'd have this portioned out a little bit for sections of the day, and then you'd add a little bit of oil so that it's as fresh as possible. Obviously, if you're doing a dinner party at home, serving everyone at the same time, so you can go ahead and add as much oil when you're ready to serve. Sauce has really nice acidity. It has a light flavor of fennel, but it has that nice balance of cooked and fresh fennel to it. Right before you're about to serve, you want to mix this up, get the globs of oil broken up. All the oil is going to pool together when you pour it. So the sauce obviously has a really pretty color. The split oil on top adds nice brightness based off the white background of the sauce. You can use all different kinds of vegetables or flavors with that base to flavor it, and then just use an oil that's appropriate for it. I think this oil really shines well with white fish, halibut. You can even do like prawns, something that is very delicate in flavor, because this sauce is fairly delicate. You can taste the fennel at the forefront, but it's not overpowering. It has a nice acidity, which pairs really well with fish. To make the pan sauce, I already have the steak cooked off just to speed things up, seared it off, then I basted it with garlic, butter, and thyme. And now it's gonna just rest for a little bit. We have excess fat in this. We don't want this much fat. This is just butter and some of the fat from the steak. Too much of this will break the sauce. So we're gonna turn this up. We have 25 grams of thinly sliced shallots, 10 grams of thinly sliced garlic. The steak in here was already seasoned, so I think that this butter is gonna already have enough flavor. So I'm not gonna add any salt right now to these. We cooked down the shallots. Since this is gonna be a more flavorful sauce, if you pick up a little bit of color on the alliums, that's all right. 125 grams of red wine. This is Bordeaux, so going along the route of Bordelaise, but any full body wine is going to be good for the sauce. So we've cooked this wine down. You can start to see the alliums around it. We've cooked this down to about 25% of the original total volume. And then we're gonna add a demi-glace. Cook this down to about 90% sauce consistency. And then I bag it up by weight. One bag typically equals sauce for 2 people. And then we're just gonna add this in here. So to make the demi, I just have jus. This particular one is chicken jus. I've also made veal jus and beef jus. Personally, I like chicken because it's way cheaper to make and it's way easier to get the bones. So we're just gonna dump this in and we are gonna reduce this stock down. It's gonna have some impurities float up that we're gonna scrape. We're gonna cook this down to 90% sauce consistency, which means that I can almost coat the back of a spoon. It should be slightly liquidy, but this will allow us, for when we're making the sauce, a little bit of room to reduce down to get to the flavor that we want. But by reducing it that much, you also make the sauce making process a lot quicker for the pan sauce. So we have our sauce cooked down. We're gonna just go ahead and strain it. So we wanna cook this sauce down to sauce consistency. That's a pourable sauce. When you go to the back of the spoon, if you drag your finger across, it should be able to hold that line. What we want to do right now is finish with a little bit of butter. That's going to round out some of the flavors, but it's also going to give the sauce a really nice sheen, and also finish with a little bit of sherry vinegar. My go-to vinegar when making sauces. Little key or little rule, when you're making sauces that are demi-based, you want to do no more than 10% by weight of butter. So what that really looks like is, you know, a little tiny knob. And I've been tasting this, so I know what the flavor's like. It needs a little bit more acidity from it. The wine cooks down when you add a little bit of acid into it, particularly if you add acid from that alcohol, or if we added a splash of like red wine vinegar, it would really pop it. I don't have a very nice red wine vinegar right now, so we're just gonna go a little bit sherry. A little key is whenever you're cooking with alcohol, if you finish the sauce with a little bit of alcohol, it'll bring back that fresh flavor. A little taste, that tastes perfect. Obviously, you're gonna serve this with whatever meat you're cooking with for the pan sauce. I think that the beauty of the way that I do it, I use chicken demi-glace, so that really can pair well with any type of meat. This is a very similar to Thomas Keller's quick sauce. Obviously, he uses the bones and the trimmings and infuses the stock and then makes something with that. This is a quicker version of the quick sauce. This is great for a weekday night. You could use this technique with pork chops. You could use this with chicken, anything you really want. And it's really just a great way to quickly elevate the meal that you're making. If you wanted to make something that's a little bit more flavorful, quick sauce actually will be more flavorful. The fact that you can make this in less than 10 minutes, quick sauce is gonna take you probably 2 hours to make. This is perfect sauce for the weekday, or maybe even a great sauce for a party that you wanna do and you just wanna have something fast. You can't make a good sauce without a good stock. Watch how the French Laundry makes their stock here next.